everyone, I'm Lynn, and today I'm going to tackle a pretty serious question here and topic that a lot of people have observed, and it has to do with the farmers and the farmland and what is really going on here. So real quick, please go in before you forget and hit that like button. It really does help me out. All right. So this question, it says, would you be able to address the attacks on the farmers worldwide under the guise of helping the climate? It seems the deep state wants to control farms and farmers, annex the farms, and create food shortages. We've all noticed some parallels going on in our own communities with that. After all, there is an up and running bug production plant here in Canada that is mass producing crickets for human consumption. Can the people stop this? What are the short and long-term outcomes that you see? Thank you so much. And on my blog post itself, I have a link that's talking about these massive cricket, I guess you want to call them a farm out there that they are making in order to use that as some type of a byproduct protein to make food. Go in, do your favorite search engine, type it up. It's alarming at what's really happening here. So when I sat back and thought about this question, I hear the phrase that when you control the food, you control the people. And let's think about it. Fundamentally, that is so true. They're slowly consuming one of the last valuable commodities that exist, and that's land. Think about all these renewable things that you can get, but land is something that once you own it and obtain it, you have it until you relinquish it. They like to control the farmland via what's grown, to control what's being put on it, what they use it for, what's produced or sold to developers. So by bankrupting farmers, they can get the land for pennies on the dollar. Either you do what I say, or we're going to make life miserable till you can't afford to keep doing what you feel you want to do, and then they're going to go in and swoop in and buy it. But there's even a bigger plan that I had come through. They're shifting to try to get it to where people have a tough time owning property. And think about what's happening in these cities and some of these communities. By gobbling up the land, they can create both a shortage and inflated price. So people who are lucky enough, if you know someone in person-to-person transaction, you have the best success because of obtaining a new piece of property, because once it hits the market, foreign investors and large companies, they want to start looking at it, and the competition is insane. People are paying more than what the prices are just to be able to acquire land because it is so difficult to obtain. They want developers to come in and put, cluster housing on stuff, because when you don't own it, they will own you, and I'm going to get into that. And why is this? What are they really doing? The people that have the money to pay the fees and the taxes support the agendas of the powers at work. So basically, the rich are continuing to get richer because they have the money to pay all the nonsense here. They also keep people in a state of renting or leasing. So if you never own anything, you never really own it. People who own can slowly become independent, but people that rent always have a bill that needs paid. Rent essentially pays the mortgage, and the investor only has their name at risk. So the renter goes in, pays the investor money because they're paying their rent, and then the investor is paying their mortgage off with the renter's money. So really, they're getting richer based on the renter's rent that's being paid. The renter essentially is helping the investor pay off their own debt, and that's how the wealthy stay wealthy, and the average person has a harder time getting ahead because you're enabling them to grow their empire while you're still struggling. Not only does developing this farmland into more cluster housing inhibit owning and self-reliance, it also prevents people from growing their own food, hunting, because there isn't land available to do so. I get that they want us to live in pods, much like they do in China. They've resorted to that. They don't care. They want to keep getting richer and keep extracting in any way they can. People are a resource to extract revenue via taxes and everything else that people contribute to society. So they want to increase their revenue and prevent them from having an easy way to exit. They never want you to retire. They always want you paying in. They keep, increasing the retirement age, make it harder to save, tax this, tax that. You can't go in and pull something out before a certain age, but you're taxed ridiculously. They want to make it hard so you can never retire, and you keep putting into the system. I get for some really sad times ahead of us, and I do get that people that want to virtue signal, they're going to get on this cricket bandwagon. They're going to think it's great. They're going to think, whatever, and follow that narrative because that's what they've been programmed to think. But those that resist are going to slowly try to exit cities and work to become independent from this mess that is going on and going to go on for a little while now. Absolutely unreal the direction that all of this is headed. I mean, it's truly unreal. Try to do what you can ahead of time to plan for it. Don't use it for fear, use it for ammunition to make yourself a little more prepared, at least mentally and emotionally, for what's ahead of us. And that's all I have for this reading. Please feel free to drop a line below. I always love reading your comments and seeing what you have to say. Again, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Thank you. Bye.